This is round 7. We are here at Zwartkops for the Sassel race day. You're watching Bridgestone Production Cars.
All this action from Bridgestone Production Cars, round 7, proudly brought to you by Sassel. On the show, we pick up all the action from the Sassel race day and the Bridgestone Production Cars classes A and T. For more information from the Bridgestone Production Cars, log on to spcc.co.za or tag us on Facebook and Twitter.
After 6 rounds of grueling action, we're here at Zwartkops for the Sassel race day and the beginning of the final third of the season. This is where it all counts. South Africa's top racing drivers, the best of the best, with everything to win or lose. We go behind the garage doors and hear the views of what the drivers think of each other. All I can say is respect.
Well, Michael Steven is a teammate to me, and he's got his strong persona of being able to hold it out there, and he's fairly quick. You can't take that away from him.
I also rate Michael highly, and he's a nice competitor race again. He's hard racer, but he's fair racer. And on numerous occasions, I mean, over the years in history, you can see how many times we go side by side, and we never push each other off.
The races we have had have always been fair, and yes, it's one of the drivers you can sort of try and go side by side through a corner, and he won't have you off.
Lots of time close racing. I really enjoyed it. It makes my heart pump, and it makes it all excited. It's awesome to race against Michael. I've known Etienne for a long time. We started racing go-karts together, so over the years I rate him very highly, and of course I believe he's a quick qualifier, can really put a lap together when he needs to.
Well, Etienne van der Linde, I think, is one of the competitors that's proved over the years he's one of the best drivers in the country.
They had a bit of a break, but he came back and showed that he's lost none of the talent that he has. Very fierce competitor on track.
A guy that's got natural speed and a very technical driver.
So I think this season he's showing that he's in the fight for the championship and my closest rival at the moment.
My teammate for this year, Johan Ferry, obviously we've come a long way. We started in karting together.
I think Johan's very, very fast. On a one lap, there's not many guys fast in the country than Johan.
Johan's been around many years in motorsport, multiple champions. So it's always good racing with a guy that's got a good understanding of racecraft and things like that.
And it's one of the drivers I rate very highly in this country.
When you're racing side by side with the guy, he's always going to be fair, and you're going to have a good dice every single lap that you're with the guy.
If you can beat him on the day, then it's a job well done.
Yeah, well, Graham and I have obviously been at it at Class T for the last 5 or 6 years. I can't even remember how long it's been now, but it's been a while. He's been a great competitor. I mean, we haven't always seen eye to eye, and there've been a lot of moments where passion is ruled the day.
He's a mastermind, and he knows each and every trick in the book. If you make one mistake, he'll take full advantage of it.
Him and I have rubbed fenders and bumpers quite often, but all in all, we're still mates. We still get on well. And when it comes to taking the racing and the series further, Graham plays the game well. So we might be rivals, but it's a healthy rivalry.
I think the last race out at Velkom just showed you what a quality driver he was, and how you can race wheel to wheel without actually sticking the cars off in the dirt. And to me, that's the mark of a good racing driver.
He's right up there with the best as well, and you see that in every race. He's always in the front. He's always competing for the top positions. And he's won championships, so that speaks for itself. Great to have the caliber of drivers we do in Class T.
Gavin Cronje is also a very hard charger. there's no second place for him. He wants to win at all costs, and so do we.
He seems to have a magnet attached to his car for some reason. I'm not sure why, but he always seems to be in trouble somewhere, and it always seems to be with the Ford team for some reason.
He's obviously very aggressive, coming from karting.
And a very good driver. He's got a long family history in racing, so, and it speaks for itself when you see him on the track.
He's doing very well in this championship this year, and with a points tie going into the third last race of the year, it's going to be a three-round championship between him and I, and let's see who gets to the end first. Jacques joined our team at the beginning of last year, and in very short span of time has come from sort of a newcomer to a force to be reckoned with within the Indy Oil team, within the Indy Oil family. We're out there giving all the big names quite a hard time. He's doing a really good job.
Very tough competitor, nice guy. I think he's done well this season, couple of races.
He's also a very good driver, and he's clean when he wants to be. But I suppose we all bump and barge when we need to.
He's got a good team, and I think he's going to do well in future.
Gary and I have known each other for about 10 years. He actually got me involved in motorsport, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he's been great as a teammate, probably one of the best teammates I could have. Done a lot of driver training with me. And as a Ford ambassador and part of our team, we couldn't have asked for a better driver and a better friend. So yes, he adds great value to our team.
Gary Pomota, what can I say? You know, him and I have been banging handlebars for the last number of years. The Ford and the Golf rivalry hasn't let up yet, and has got a lot of talent. He's a really talented man. He doesn't give you more than you need on the racetrack. Very fair, and the proof was in the pudding at the last race at Pekisa, where the two of us actually rode next to each other for a lot of the racetrack. Didn't run each other off, and I'll drive with him any day.
For commentary from the rest of the drivers, log on to spcc.co.za and pick up on what the rest of the guys said.
Joining us this time around are three new competitors. Roman De Beer will be piloting the E90 BMW 335i by ADF Motorsport. Ross Lazarus joins the Ford stable in the older generation Focus ST by Castrol, and Ryan Cooper gets behind the wheel of the Golf 5 GTI by Right Air Conditioning.
As the drivers went into the qualifying, it was going to be an important situation. Zwartkops always giving a great advantage to the drivers and cars that can get themselves on pole position. Etienne van der Linde in the Class A's BMW at the last visit at Zwartkops was the fastest man. So it was going to be up to the NGen Audis to see if they could recover. Michael Steven once again uncharacteristically off the pace. Van der Linde came good, and always a good specialist at the Zwartkops circuit is the Subaru.
In Class T, it was always going to be about the Minis and the GTIs, the Golfs, Indy Oil Golf. Graham Nathan coming into this championship neck and neck. Who would do it today? Quite frankly, the championship starts today.
In the Class A's, this is how it looks in qualifying. Fourie and Groenewald head up row number 1, and they're going to be closely followed by Etienne van der Linde and Michael Steven.
On the next row, it's Giara Bonafide and Melville Priest. Then Chop Sapuka and Roman De Beer, a new candidate.
Looking at the Class T's, and this is going to be a great fight out. The guys duking it out for the championship. Nathan versus Cornier, and then Thompson, a Zwartkops specialist, versus Duminy.
Jack Jabeur in the other Golf, and then Michael van Rooyen alongside him in the Cruise, and then Devin Robinson in the Megane and Gary Famato in the Ford.
Back of the pack for the Class T's, and new kids on the block, Lazarus and Cooper.
We know he can drive, and he's turned out really nice looking today, but he is the fastest man, and he's on pole. You must be delighted with that, Johan.
Yeah, no, I'm over the moon. Been coming for a long time now at Zwartkops, just always having a battle, and always seems to have bad luck here. I don't think I ever won a production car race here, so hopefully we can make to change that today. But I have to say very thank you to the team, Freddie, Donovan, Alec, Sean, everybody was putting a lot of effort into the cars, and even my teammate working together and working on setup. Etienne, I think we just come a long way from the beginning of the year developing the cars and making sure in the front end. So now it's showing, and it's definitely coming together. So I think it's going to be a good remaining part of the season, but it's all part of today, still getting it together. And like I said, qualifying is one hurdle, and we've still got another couple of hurdles to do today. So hopefully we can manage to finish all races and just come home on top.
Almost pole, but not quite, but a good result nevertheless.
Yeah, I'd say we're probably happy with that. You know, we're all trying to get that pole position, especially on the Cecil race day today. We really want to try and perform well for our sponsors and our guests. But yes, you know, it's close between me and Johan, and it seemed like we were pretty close to the BM's times yesterday. They seem to be ultimately setting the pace here this weekend. And yeah, so we'll have to see. You know, it's a few long races today, and hopefully we can be in the fight to get some wins for Cecil today and the team.
Well, it's a good start to the day. Maybe lots more points coming your way.
We really hope so. You know, I think to showcase the Cecil car today on the Cecil race day, that's what we're looking forward to actually perform well and do well in all 3 races.
Round 7 of the Bridgestone Production Car Championship, putting it on pole in Class T, the effervescent and mercurial Graham Nathan. The team's done a great job this weekend so far.
They have. I can't thank them enough. Everybody in the team has pulled their weight. The car went very, very nicely. I did a nice lap. I got it hooked up really nicely, and it just worked very well. Everybody's out there pushing. The times are really, really close. And look, the race is going to be a different story because the lighter motor cars, the minis, are a little bit lighter than us, so they should look after their tires more than us. But they're not going to get it their own way. Not from me anytime.
Round 7 is going to be awesome today, isn't it?
Absolutely. Watch this space.
It is Gavin Cronier, the Ginger Ninja, in the Castrol Works Mini. It's tough out there today.
Yeah, look, it's close. And irony, Graham and I was level points in the championship. So season starts today. He's pole, I'm second, so we've got something to fight for. And I think we've got good race pace, so I'm looking forward to the race.
So the rolling start at this circuit always going to play into the hands of the rear-wheel drive, and the BMW boys are going to be trying to carry some momentum forward into this round.
First corner is always a dandy, and of course they all get through nice and sharply as well, but we're on board with Henny Grunewald in the Subaru. He'll want a great result today, being their race day.
First of the sprint races, so Subaru slots into a solid second place, and he is the meat in the sandwich of the BMWs right now. It's going to be a question to ask to see if Michael Stephen can start bringing his way forward. The last couple of rounds, he has really battled to bring it to the front.
On the way to turn 3, and some great speed, and we see, oh, hey, we got problems. Oh, it's a big one.
Just one of the Fords going all kinds of out of shape. A massive roll across the tires there, and that was getting offline on the way out of turn number 3. Treacherous turn number 3, and that is chaos, and chaos at the top of the hill as well.
This is during a red flag. That's unbelievable because the 2 minis look like they collided and have crashed into Michael van Rooyen in the cruise.
I think everyone was actually watching those red flags, and a couple of the guys at the back got caught out. But this is the scary situation, and a great situation to see the fact that Dumini has stepped out of that big write-off. And here is a man possibly walking away from a championship. There's a lot of damage to the Mini, and look at the dejection coming out of the shoulders of Cronier.
Where's van Rooyen? Oh, there he is. Well, let's see if they have a couple of words here.
Let's go on board to see what happened. This is Cronier up the inside of turn 3, just tags the back end of Dumini, sends him off onto the very slippery outside of the circuit, and then all the way to the wall. That was extremely fast, high-speed action. Watch the turn of the wheels there. He is staying on the gas. He's doing the right thing, and he just simply ran out of road, and then end over end over end, and the car starts disintegrating.
Goodness gracious, I mean, for him to come out of this unshaken will be an absolute miracle. We go back to another replay, and you can clearly see that it looks like Lee Thompson has clipped his teammate, Gavin Cronier, in turn. Well, it's a domino effect.
I think that was all about the drivers at the front seeing the red flag and the drivers at the back being blindsided. We go back to the restart now for the Class A's. Thankfully, these guys weren't affected.
Yeah, a long delay, about 20 to 25 minutes, but we're back with the racing action, and can we get it back to where it was? It's exciting, a championship at stake for Class A, and Grunewald right now is a man to watch because he's on a charge.
Great action for Bonafide. He slots himself into 5th place. He's trying to get the run on the rest of the boys. You can see how greasy it is coming through turn number 3. A lot of wheel work going on there. Right now, the BMWs still sandwiching and getting a move on, trying to get through on the Subaru as Melville Priest and Bonafide get together.
Well, a big thing to think about here is the championship at stake in Class T, and the delay that we've had after just not even one lap into race 1 is the fact that Cronier and the mechanics are now got this car back on track.
Yeah, a chance of a championship thrown away. It's been brought back into the mix. Right now, the man who is defending a lead in the championship, Michael Stephen, sits in 4th place on the road. The driver just 1 place ahead, who is 1 place behind him in the championship, and that's Etienne van der Linden, the BMW.
Yeah, too close to call. We knew that they were very strong after the Pekisa round number 6, and Etienne van der Linden and Johan Fourie had a field day with points, and it looks like Johan Fourie has got the pedal down because this car is looking so good.
We just had a shot there of the Class T's Graham Nathan looking out the back door of his car into his teammates' eyes. That's been been a good position that he's been able to control most of the season.
Coming into turn 3, one of the fastest parts on the racetrack, and we saw what happened to Sean Toomey with a little clip, but these cars are moving very quickly into the Castrol Edge corner. They'll go up to the hill, and still the leader, Johan Fourie in the BMW.
And starting to stretch away, Steve. He is pulling around about half a second as they head to the top of the hill. A comfortable place for Henny Groenewald in second, as is a comfortable place for Etienne van der Linde, the man who is extremely uncomfortable right now, who is getting the pressure piled on him as he tries to defend 4th place, is Michael Stephen.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. Very, very difficult times right now for that team, but on the charge, Gennaro Bonafide just behind Melville Priest. We're on board with Graham Nathan in the Golf 6, and he is leading this Class T by some margin. He's really on the metal here.
And a good shot in the background as we see the Mini coming through, and that's Thompson. He charged one, and he shoves it up the inside into treacherous turn number 4, and he's going to have a good drive. It's going to be a drag race to the top of the hill now. It looks like Jacques Joubert was trying to defend, and Lee Thompson called his bluff.
Yeah, just behind him, you can see all the duct tape on the other Mini. That's Cronier leading the championship right now for round number 7 with Graham Nathan. What's going to unfold in this day?
This is going to give us a good shot of the left-hand side of Thompson's car, and there is a little bit of damage, but look at how much damage is on the second Mini, and it is just all trying to hold it together and trying to hold the championship together. We go on board with 3rd place, Jacques Joubert.
Into turn 8 they go and cross the start-finish line, and it's been some awesome racing right now. Race number 1, lap 5 of 9, and while Nathan continues leading this race right now, our pictures are on the John Cooper Works Mini, and as you say, Matt, it's really damaged.
Yeah, it really has been worked. The Mini Cooper is held together, and that's going to be a story of this season, to see if he can actually hold this championship together. He desperately needs to make as many points as he can, and getting through on Jacques Joubert, 3rd place in this race, would help him out a ton.
Certainly the boys are on the pace, and we're on board with Graham Nathan from a back view to the window, and of course being chased down by the John Cooper Works Mini. And he is starting to close that gap, is Lee Thompson. Whether he's got enough and there's enough laps to actually make anything possible, we'll have to wait and see. But right now looks like Nathan's in control.
Now Nathan knew the charge was going to come from the Minis, didn't know which one, as he has a big lock-up going into turn number 3.
Oh my goodness.
And saves it. How many times have we said this, Steve? The guy has got a sublime touch in the car to be able to hang on to those kind of situations, and that is definitely the old brake scenario from Nathan's car. It's shown its face a couple of times this season, and it's cost him again.
You mean the ABS playing up a little bit?
Exactly that. It just seems to last about half the race, and that just came into play. A full lockup going into turn number 3. And an incredible recovery from the big man.
I've got to say, I totally agree with you. Of nothing short of sublime skills from the big man. But it has handed Lee Thompson. And can he chase him down? One more lap to go, 8 of 9. The Thompson Mini is in front of Graham Nathan. He'll be kicking himself.
And Cronier is in desperate situations. He really needs to hang on to every position he is in right now. And at the moment, he's now got Gary Formato charging hard late in the first of the sprint races to try and get his move up the road.
Yeah, Formato will have a look on the inside. This is turn 8 as they come onto the straight. Not enough power, only 1 lap to go. It's going to be interesting. And can he do it? Can Formato overtake the Mini?
We're looking at the 2nd and 3rd guys go through the shot. There's Formato sliding his way through. And, well, essentially sending Gavin Cronier to the back of the pack. Big smoke up, lock up. So Graham Nathan is nursing his car home and just hoping to hang on to that 2nd place.
9 laps of our first sprint race, and nobody's holding anything back right now. There's van der Linde, and of course, Johan Fourie is charging ahead of all the Audis at the moment.
Fourie still not able to find his way through. But what a turnaround for Johan Fourie. Coming straight out and dominating the first of the sprint races. There's Henny Groenewald, so he's doing his Sasol sponsors proud in the Subaru for 2nd place. And 3rd will be Etienne van der Linde.
Still to come, here comes Lee Thompson in the Mini, leading out Class T. This has been handed to him on the plate. And as you see, all that rubber on the side door, so it looks like there was a collision between him and his teammate. But he will get the points for this. 10 points, vital points for their championship, taking away points from Graham Nathan.
And that save of Graham Nathan's during the race may have also saved his own championship hopes.
So well done, Lee Thompson in the John Cooper Works Mini, and of course the 2 goals. But Fourie, hey, he's back.
And his first ever win at the Zwartkops circuit. That's huge for the big man from Cape Town.
So let's get confirmation of those results. Class A, Johan Fourier's first win at Zwartkops. Henny Groenewald, Etienne van der Linde, Michael Stephen, and Melville Priest in 6th.
Then we have to go back and pick up on Gennaro Bonafide. Higher hopes for him, and he finishes ahead of Sepuka and De Beer. In the Class T's, it was always going to be an epic battle, and it was Thompson who came through the strongest. Graham Nathan got his second place, but Gavin Cronje, even though he finished in fifth, was excluded for being underweight, and that's going to be a huge story in the championship.
Round 7, race 1. We're sitting here with the winning car and the winning driver, Johan Verree. Outstanding result. The car looked untouchable.
Yeah, no, the car was on rails, really. The car was handling so well. Said yesterday we were working on race pace, and the car was so consistent. In the end, I could back off. I see Henny was catching certain places, but then I just maintained the gap. And I was just happy to get away from him because, like I said, Henny wouldn't let me go. But I managed to open a gap in the beginning and then just maintain it. But I was still pushing hard. I wasn't taking it easy. But in all, I just have to say thank you to the team again for preparing such an awesome car. And it's my first race ever in production car win at Zwartkops. It's the only track I haven't won in production cars, and luckily I got that cursed off my back. So I'm over the moon and I'm so happy. So just see what happens in the second race. But I'm so happy and so thankful for the team for everything they've done. So awesome.
Outstanding result for Lee Thompson and the John Cooper Works Mini.
Yes, in the beginning I wanted to see if Gavin will still be on pace after that crash that they had. And I could see he was battling a little bit, so it was up to me to go and get Graham to get some points away from him. And yeah, caught him. Unfortunately, like you say, it looks like his ABS failed, so it didn't make it a fair dice for me. You know, I don't want to get it handed on a plate, but then again in this game, you take whatever you can get.
We're delighted that Sean's okay, but an awful tumble into one of the barriers. The car almost a complete write-off, but you're okay. But talk us through what happened.
Steve, first I must thank God for protecting me, because apparently that was quite a big one. It's my first real big roll. It was quite scary, but we got through it. Unfortunately, looking at the footage, it was Cronje who tagged me, not Van Rooyen, so I must apologize to Van Rooyen. But unnecessary stuff, you know. Lap 1, turn 3, unnecessary stuff. And it turned ugly. The car's a write-off, and it probably won't be back for the rest of the season. Eh?
How many times over the last 3 seasons have you said you're not going to win it on the first lap?
That's the way it is. Gavin Cronje, apparently with the experience he has, should know that. As he told me earlier, as we had a hearing earlier where he told me what kind of experience he's got. So obviously he's lacking a little somewhere.
Last thing about stories, there's always 2 sides, but there we can see some of the damage from the Mini, and the kids were getting involved going, oh my goodness, that looks like big damage.
Zwartkops 1, save 0. So plenty of work for the teams to spin the spanners and do some rebuilding before they go into the rest of the day's racing.
So the all-important draw, I dare you, Hunt, pick out 10. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, he has as well.
How many times have we seen that? That's a full inversion once again.
I put the commentator's curse on him.
That puts him obviously in Class A's to the back of the pack.
Well, that's going to bring a whole new perspective to the grid right now, with some of the new boys coming into play, and they're going to be wide open, aren't they?
Chop Sapuka is going to be heading up the charge. He's got a good chance to take a win here, and he is one of the key players when it comes to the inversion.
Team Engine Extreme, and Sapuka is in front, and we've seen this many times. He has been known as the king of reverse grids. Can't do the same.
Look who he's got in his wheel as well. It's going to be all about Melville Priest. We forget about him. He is a driver that has yet to take a win in this class this season, and he is desperate for it. He's sweeping around the outside of Bonafide, who is so often linked with on the track. These guys are stablemates in the pits, remember, so he's going to be working hard. They're going to try and work together to go forward.
Yeah, Johan Verree has just given the camel back to Melville Priest. Can you get a race win here?
Exactly that. These guys, well, how many times do we see it? It's often a track that delivers first-time winners.
So, Sapuka up the hill into the complex. There is Gennaro Bonafide on the inside. Melville Priest will not be able to go around the outside just yet.
Etienne van der Linde climbing the curbs, trying to get his nose up the inside, but just enough squirt in Melville Priest's car to get back across and defend, but only just.
Gennaro Bonafide with all the pressure upon him from Melville Priest. We have 2 Audis, and then the BMW, and then Michael Stephen, as you mentioned earlier on, Matt, very uncharacteristic.
Yeah, just battling there. Should be able to get his way through. The rolling starts here at Zwartkops certainly don't help out the Audi, but he should be able to box a little bit clever, maybe later in the day. When we come to the feature race, that's going to be the decider on the day.
Etienne van der Linde and Johan Free had an outstanding result in round number 6, carrying some great momentum. But right now, they're chasing points, and the nearest competitor to our reigning champion at the moment, Michael Stephen, is Etienne van der Linde, and he needs a bag full of points today.
Gennaro Bonafide seems to have got Melville Priest off his back, but look at the frustration in the driving coming out of Free. He is desperate to get through on Stephen. He's tried left and right, and he's just getting blocked.
The other car that I seem to be missing here on this grid is Roman De Beer in the E90 BMW. Looks like he's had problems and hasn't managed to actually start this. I think we saw him pull off in the formation.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame for the new kid on the block, but he'll be coming back swinging, first time out into the tin tops, and it's a big learning curve. And you can see Faree at the top of the hill there, just getting blocked. We go back and pick up on the T's, and we have a full complement here, obviously, apart from Duminy. No way they were going to get that car built. But again, the inversion for these guys does throw it wide open.
Oh, Nathan and Famato side by side coming out the corner of 8 into the straight. And my goodness gracious me, that battle royale continues.
Yeah, a light touch climbing of the curbs there. None of these guys will have minded that. And one of the drivers up the road there, tagging the dirt. A nice feature here at Zwartkops is the fact that at the circuit, they put a lot of tires on the insides, on the apexes, to stop the guys dragging as much dirt as they did at the Pekisa Freeway back onto the circuit, and it's kept things nice and clean.
One of the new boys, Ryan Cooper, got gobbled up in this whole mishmash. What do you think was going through his mind as he saw all those champions coming his way?
Literally pulling his elbows in, and that's what we're looking at right now. Here's the second car up the road in the shot, and just missing his line slightly going up the hill. You can see Nathan is trying to benefit from that. He's going to slide through up the inside at the top.
Jacques Joubert in the rearview mirror checking out his teammate Graham Nathan. This is vitally important. Cooper on the outside and on the inside. There goes Graham Nathan. More points on the offering right now. On board with Jacques Joubert, his teammate in the Indy Oil Golf. They'll be on their way down the hill to turn number 8 and onto the straight again, Matt.
Cooper did a good job just to stay out there. He was getting hung out to dry, but if he'd have come back into the mix, I think Jacques Joubert would have sent him merrily on his way to the outside of the track, but he stayed out of the way for now.
Well, what's most amazing about Ryan Cooper in this GTI, he doesn't have any really racing tin top experience. He is a regional bike racer of all things.
That means he's got the skills around this track, and obviously there are different lines around the circuit when you come off a bike and onto a car. But all you got to do is follow these guys around, and they'll teach you the way.
Just behind Ryan Cooper, of course, is the other Ford driver, Lazarus, who's got a point to prove as well. But we're back with the leaders, ahead of the track. Oh, we pick up those two again. There's going to be a little battle at the back of this pack.
Yeah, new kids on the block, and check out Cooper doing a bit of blocking there. He is desperate not to be the last man standing.
All right, back to the front end of this field, and of course...
Oh, there's one of the minis on the right-hand side.
Thompson, I think. Could be Thompson.
On the way up the hill. So, Thompson, our race number 1 winner in the Class T's, that car is limping around. That's going straight to the back of the class.
Well, we don't know what's going on with it. It's going very slowly, isn't it?
Well, it certainly was. It seems to be firing quite nicely now, which probably means it's a fuel surge situation, but that's going to be him off, and he'll be parking that one.
Here comes that battle again. Ford GTI. Nathan just behind Famato. And there's our leader. It is the Renault Megane of Devon Robinson. What a surprise.
Yeah, he's got a good chance. The inversion definitely helping him out. It has helped him out in the past as well, but he's going to have to pray that he can find the numbers, because we know on paper that the minis are lighter and a little bit quicker around a circuit like this.
The Liqui Moly Renault Megane, and we've seen evidence of his potential, of him not only as a driver but the car as well. Will this be the day for Megane?
Well, we've talked about it, the fact that it's a development year. Next year it's definitely going to be a strong contender, but we have to wait and see if he can just hang on to it.
Now this is going to be a sweet battle. We've got a couple of more laps remaining, but right now pressure from Gennaro Bonafide, Melville Priest down the outside, 3 Audi S4 supercharged cars into turn number 8 onto the straight, and look at the drive from Bonafide.
You know, Gennaro's done all the work. He's been the man bridging the gap. He has ticked off 1.5 seconds. He's got onto the back wheel of Chopsapuka, and he is the faster driver. And now the concertina effect is happening. He's trying every which way but loose, inside, outside, and if he's not careful, he's going to get beaten up by Melville Priest, who has now joined the party. There is nothing separating those 3 cars.
Still the pressure coming from Graham Nathan on Gary Famato, and still leading out. What a pleasant surprise is the Megane, and can he make it stick? 10 points will be vital for him.
Check them grabbing the curb up the top there, flip it over onto the left-hand side, and everyone is... Where's the Megane? No sign of the Megane. We lost the Megane at the top of the hill.
The Megane is gone.
It's pulling into the pits. We just saw a shot there. So it's a change up for the lead, and that is just going to bring the championship battle back into the mix as we go into the lead. And we've got a new leader in the Class A's, and Melville Priest is going to go through too.
Oh, Incredibly clever from Priest. He saw the gap and he just went on the inside. Sapuka didn't have an answer, and van der Linde might even get through as well.
Oh, a little bit of a tag there. Sapuka was desperate to get himself back onto line and try and defend that position. But 2 in 1 almost became 3 in 1. Chop Sapuka is in huge trouble.
Am I the only one scratching my head here? The McGann, I can't believe it. He was leading out, 3 laps to go. Where's it gone?
Yeah, well, he pulled straight into the pit, so he knew something had gone terminal. He didn't want to fry the car, probably just an overheating situation, but a chance of a win gone.
So this battle has taken a new twist right now. Sapuka was leading out due to the reverse grip. Bonafide brought pressure. So is Melville Priest. Cronier on the inside. This is amazing stuff. And there's Formato.
If Cronier could hang on to this win, it would help him out a ton. And look how desperate Graham Nathan is. Outside all the way around the tabletop. It's very rare that you see Graham doing a move like that. But you can see he's not able to get the drive, and he is getting blocked. Right now, watch what he does. This is the cutback line.
Wow, look on the inside as well from the forward, and he's got better drive. Formato's got better drive. He's going to get him.
And the Mini just seems like it missed a gear there. So Cronier having huge problems, probably over-revving the car, not able to select the gear, and that's allowed his championship rival, most importantly, to slide on through.
Oh, Priest on the inside. Look at this. Bonafide, he's got past Bonafide, and he's trying to come back at him. He's trying to come back on the inside. Priest around the outside. Bonafide on the inside. Oh, this is desperate. Melville gets it.
Priest just stays right in the middle of the road there, keeps the hammer down, and he is finally in the front. Can he bring it all the way to the flag? We've already seen a new winner on the season, at this circuit at least, with Johan Fourie, and the flag is out. Melville Priest finally breaks his duck and gets all the way to the front.
Well done, Melville Priest from the Olens Mueller-sponsored S4 Audi, but it's not over. Here comes Class T and Formato. Can he do Nathan?
It's going to be all the way down to the line. Realistically, it doesn't matter. Nathan won't go for the do or die. All he has to do is stay in front of the Mini of Cronier. But a win for Formato will definitely cheer him and the team up on a day like today.
Well, a great result also for Gavin Cronier. Keeps his hopes alive of this championship, but well done to Class A's winner. Melville Priest gets his first win this season.
Formato gets his win for the team to cheer all the boys at Ford up. Here's confirmation of race 2 results. Priest then finally at the top of the pile ahead of Bonafide, Sapuka, van der Linde, and Michael Stevens still battling in 5th.
Let's get those confirmation results for Class T. Formato wins it out over Graham Nathan. Gavin Cronier in 3rd. Jack Jabert in 4th. Ros Lazarus in the other Ford. Then Ryan Cooper, Devin Robinson, and Lee Thompson, who didn't finish with a problem.
Melville, congratulations.
Yeah, yes, you know, it's been a long time coming. I've been waiting the whole year, 7 rounds. But the car's so magnificent, you know. Gennaro and myself had an awesome second half of the race. I mean, Chop's got a little bit away from us, and we just caught him together, and it was superb. And a little unlucky for Gennaro, I'd like to say, because his left rear broke passing Chops. So what can we do, you know? But I'll take it with both arms and take it back to the team, eh?
Well, you spend a lot of time on the bumper of Michael Stevens, and what does it feel like emotionally to actually finally get it under your belt?
Yeah, you know what? The best part is to do it for the team. You know, we've all been waiting the whole year for this, so I'll give it to the team. They've done all the hard work, and their driver pitched up for once.
Also, great driving from another man, a youngster, Gennaro Bonafide, who just spells out amazing races. Also, a bit unlucky for you as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like Melville said, we had a great race. Chops got ahead of us, and then we managed to just eke, and we didn't fight each other, and, you know, we got closer and closer. Eventually, I got past Chops going up to the hill, and then as I passed him, you know, broke the rear suspension. And I felt it straight away, and I thought, geez, like, this car's not safe, but I'm going to drive it anyways. And then Melville was obviously caught me, and then going into turn 4, I just turned in, and obviously the wheel fell off, turned to the side, and I had a big sideways moment, and Melville passed me. And you know, it's like I said, it's great for the team. I think we've also had, we were in the mix, a 1-2 for VMP. So I think we're very happy. We raced side by side both races, going through turn 3 and turn 4. So we're okay.
A delighted Gary Formato. Great win.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, you know, unfortunately we start today with the big penalty, you know, a bit of a technical infringement this morning, so we started all 3 races from the back, so I think the win is as good as it's going to get. So it's a tough day, obviously. I mean, Sean had a big accident just now, and, you know, a bit of damage to the car, not a bit of damage for a throw it away, but yeah, so we'll win. A win, I think, makes it a little bit better.
Well, we've noticed already on 2 races, we're finding yourself at the back of the grid, and we'd like to know why.
Well, we had rims this morning that were slightly wider than what is allowed, according to certain people, depending on how you measure them. So, yeah, you know what, I mean, you take it on the chin, and we do what we got to do, you know, get our act together and make sure we all good.
join us after the break for the feature race from Bridgestone Production Cars, round number 7 at the Sasol Race Day. This racing action brought to you by Sasol.
Sasol's involvement in motorsport and specifically Bridgestone Production Cars goes far deeper than one might think. Apart from the Sasol Racing Subaru team, fuels and lubricants are developed from data gained at this optimum level. Fuel is supplied to most of the competitors, and Sasol always hosts this prestigious Sasol Race Day this time of the year. I'm standing here with Zalile, who is the General Manager of Corporate Affairs for Sasol Oil. Why is Sasol involved in motorsport?
So the reason why we're involved with this thing is because this gives us an opportunity to showcase our products in an endurance, scenario. So you've got cars that are racing using our fuels, and it proves how useful and good our fuels are.
More importantly, why has Sasol decided to sponsor Subaru?
So we were approached by Karen Pinar, and we were happy with the offering they were making in terms of our marketing opportunities, as well as the opportunity to get our products tested in using the Subaru cars. And they've been performing very well so far. We're very happy with their performance.
Who does the Sasol racing team comprise of?
The Sasol racing team comprises of 2 drivers. It's Henny Groenewald and Richard Pinat. But for today, it's Henny Groenewald who's participating. Richard Pinat was injured in a race in Durban, so he's recovering from that. So we decided just to go in with Henny. But usually we have 2 cars racing. But for the rest of the season, since the Durban race, we are going to have just 1 car participating in the races.
And tell me, Zalile, how and where are Sasol fuels and oils manufactured?
Well, we manufacture our products in Secunda, which is our flagship manufacturing plant for fuels. We produce a suite of chemicals as well as petroleum products from there. And then we then take them through different blending processes, depending on what type of fuel it is. If it is diesel, then you blend it to diesel. If it's petrol, and so on and so forth. With racing fuel, we blend it by hand. And that is why it becomes a very specialized kind of product to use and produce.
There we have it, chatting to Zalile, who is the General Manager of Corporate Affairs for Sasol Oil. Thank you very much for your time, and have a great race day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So all the cars ready to rock and roll for the feature race here at the Sasol Race Day. And the final bit of action from Zwartkops.
Can't wait, looking forward to it. Also in that shot, you see young Richard Pinard on the mend. Looking forward to seeing him again. Took a nasty turn in Durban, so his recovery going quite well, I'm told.
So the Sasol Subaru flag being flown by Henny Groenewald. But we have had 2 different winners on the day so far. Could this be one of the first times this season where we see 3 different faces on the top of the podium?
You know, Matt, I'm tired of this crystal ball because, half the time we're wrong. We don't know what's going on. I mean, I need a Ouija board or something. We just never know what's going to happen at this level of racing.
I'm feeling another BMW coming to the front in the Class A's. In the Class T's, the most consistent man on the day has been Big Dog Nathan.
Well, I certainly wouldn't discount what you're saying right now, because on the basis of where they've come from in round number 6, the BMWs have shown all week in practice how strong they are, in particular Fourie, and also watch out for Van der Linde.
The feature race, a 15-lapper. The cars are going to be hurting. They're asking everything of the Bridgestone rubber, and it's that last lap that's going to count.
Now there's one of the labels, Sasol Race Day, Henny Groenewald. What's your take? Do you think he's got it?
You know, in the past, the Subarus have been unbeatable around this circuit, but I think the new competitors within the Class A's have got the beating of the big car.
So getting the man on pole from the fastest lap, and it is Etienne van der Linde, not Fourie.
Yeah, I think if van der Linde can get out there and keep clear air, he's going to be able to run some solid laps. We know he can just bang out those qualifiers every single time.
A bitterly cold winter's day, and of course the spectators really enjoying hot racing.
Melville Priest coming off his first win of the season, slots himself into second place, and he will be probably the happiest man on the grid right now. He is going to try and go and back up his great results from heat number 2.
No doubt about it. Also, the other battle to watch out for in Class A, Bonafide, Melville Priest.
Cooper's taken a knock. He's been turned around, takes another knock as well. So we have to see who's been... the luckless Cruz. Once again involved. Van Rooyen is just having one of those days again.
Well, the team has done a remarkable job to get that car back onto the circuit. And in saying that, most of the teams that have had damage have done a remarkable job to actually line a car up in this race.
Yeah, extremely close racing, and Zwartkops is always like that. Doesn't like to be called the small circuit, but it is. At the end of the day, and it's tight, very, very tight at the top of the hill.
So, as we were mentioned earlier on, it's Sassel's race day here at Zwartkops. Henny Groenewald, could he pull out all the stops? I mean, he's in third place right now. Long way to go. He's got 2 very experienced drivers ahead of him.
Yeah, Bonafide has just been held off the podium today, and he's desperate to get his way through. But look at van der Linde. He doesn't have to be asked twice. Remember, he is taking a ton of points away from Michael Stephen today.
Rear-wheel drive versus the all-wheel drive of the Audis, and Priest is on the hunt here at Zwartkops.
Look at him just pitch it in there as well, so he's really come to terms. Remember, he stepped out of the Audi into a BMW, back into the Audi, and he looks so comfortable.
So Priest all over the bumper, and here they come out of turn 2 and moving into turn 3, and this is one of the fastest parts on the circuit, and the BMW certainly got some hump.
That's really where the BMW starts to stretch it out. Its line and the way it can just hold onto those revs without getting out of shape, coming out of turn number 3, sets up the time around this track, and that's why we've seen it as an almost unbeatable qualifier, especially around the Zwartkops circuit. Henny Groenewald is trying as hard as he may, but I think he just tends to chew the rubber up a little bit too much on the Subaru.
One man also to watch out for is Gennaro Bonafide in the Ferrota-backed S4 supercharged Audi. But what's happening in Class T? And, well, here it is.
It's extremely busy. We've got the Renault back into the mix. So whatever the problem was, the Big Boss boys have fixed it. And there's a problem. That was Jacques Joubert making a very uncharacteristic mistake at the top of the hill there. Just forced it wide. And that is just gifted a position to the Magon. So it's going to be a big pass for Jacques Joubert to try and recover. And look at him. He's trying to hold back one of the minis. Jacques Joubert will be punished for that move.
Well, this is how close they are. You can actually see the writing on the Castrol Mini of Gavin Cronier, EPS Courier Services.
And Gavin Cronier slides through into third place. That is huge. He desperately needs that position. He needs all the points he can get his hands on.
I still have that little giggle to myself, the telltale signs on Lee Thompson's Mini. It's all black rubber on the side of that car.
Well, that's actually the car we're looking at right now, because that is Thompson's car with Gavin Cronier behind the wheel, and that's how you play the team game.
Yeah, taking one for the side. Back to Class A action, and it's all happening up at the front. Etienne van der Linde, Melville Priest, Gennaro Bonafide somewhere in the mix. We're on board right now with a Subaru, Henny Groenewald, as they go into one of the fastest parts of the circuit.
This is the part of the track that is incredibly good for the Subaru and the BMWs, but it's at the top of the hill where the Audis seem to come back into play. And check out this move around the outside on the greasy part of the circuit, and that's Groenewald. Goes for the big cutback there. Let's see if he can actually control that ground, because normally when you get blocked out that hard, you can't defend, but you can if your name is Groenewald.
What a move. What a great move from Henny.
Just spotted it early. That was the situation, and that's our race leader. Race leader Nathan goes farming.
So the Magan in front. Unbelievable. Cronier in Lee Thompson's car. Jacques Joubert, Gary Formato. Man, there's some action going on here.
Where did that come from with Graham Nathan? A very uncharacteristic mistake from the big man, who is obviously leading this championship by a big chunk after the problems that Cronier has had. But Cronier is going to drive himself back into it.
And he's got to chase down Cronier. That's the big thing. And Nathan will be kicking himself inside that cockpit.
Here we go. We've got a chance of seeing Henny Groenewald get to the front of this one, because I thought we were going to see Etienne van der Linde stretch this one away. But he seems to be able to control the first sector of the track, and the rest of the track he is getting eaten alive. Here we go.
Down
the
inside.
curves,
Oh,
and
it was hot.
a physical pass. And sometimes that's how it has to happen.
Well, all fair in love and war.
And a new race leader on the Sasol race day. The Sasol Subaru twitches his way to the front. It was a physical pass, but there was just enough room to slide on through.
Matt, the other interesting thing in the commentary booth here, the crowd went absolutely crazy. I heard all the screaming because Groenewald went to the front.
Oh, there's some big contact there. Van der Linde and Priest. That may have affected some of the handling on either one of those cars, but Priest is being left out on the greasy stuff, and the drive coming out of turn 3 is in the hands of Gennaro Bonafide. So Bonafide may be able to slide his way up.
Listen to this crowd. They're absolutely delighted. Kenny leading out in our theme piece. Double of points. He had a great result in Bakisa. It's continuing for him. 9 of 15, just over half. And can he hold on?
Well, I'll take it back. I mean, I say that he's hard on the rubber. The car is hard on the rubber. Priest has... It looks like, did he outbrake himself, miss gears? He seems to have a good drive happening there, but it's definitely not the fight that he used to have. The car is gone. Steve, the car is gone.
That's so disappointing for Melville. What on earth happened there? We have no idea. We can only speculate, and at the best of times. But it does put Bonafide in a really good position right now to actually grab some points.
Yeah, and when he is in this position, he fights hard for it. He's like a dog with a bone. You're not going to be able to wrestle points away from him very easily, unless you're Johan Fourie. And Johan, sliding it in there, actually had to back out of that one. Very good driving for Fourie, because he almost T-boned Gennaro Bonafide out at the top of the hill.
Man, fantastic stuff. Fourie, our Cape Town boy, is doing really well. Got the duck off his back in terms of getting a race win. First time ever at Zwartkops, so outstanding stuff. But Bonafide is looking cool at the moment.
Yeah, we have to see if these cars can hang on to what rubber is left on the circuit and on their rims.
Now, difficult time of the day right now, Matt. It reminds me of sunset at Kyalami.
Yeah, and the sun sets at the top of the hill, so it's as you're climbing up to the top, as that is the Stiglet pulling off into the pits. Jacques Joubert having to retire out of the feature race, and that is going to be a huge hit to his championship hopes. He's not in the running to win the overall championship, but he's definitely one of the guys fighting out for the podium, and that's going to hurt him.
Squealing tires is what we can hear on this racetrack, and the Magan, it's Devin Robertson. He was in this position again. Can he hold on?
Yeah, well, we've seen the car let go with just 2 laps to go in one of the shorter races, so hopefully they've got a long setup, because 15 laps, that's where you're asking everything of every single component on the car. It's the tires, though, that take the biggest hit.
Well, I do know that the race has been shortened by a couple of laps due to delays in our race program and all sorts of incidents the entire day. But the action is fast and furious, and they're going up the hill.
Formato cannot hold a line, and look how blinded you are going into the braking markers. Nathan is on the correct line, so he's going to make the pass count, but I think Formato's tires are completely fried. He could not hold the line coming out of turn number 4.
So it is a chase down from Formato on Graham Nathan, and interesting stuff. Lap 14, the penultimate lap, Matt.
We're on board with Gennaro Bonafide trying to get the job done. He is in line to take a chunk of points, but he's got to make some passes, and at this stage, it's Etienne van der Linde who has just outbraked himself. That definitely wasn't the line that he wanted, and he opened up the apex. The BMW is good at getting the power down, but the line is controlled by the Audi of Gennaro Bonafide, and he slides through. And Fourie goes with him.
Well, that's outstanding stuff. And what's happened to Van der Linde? Just went off the pace a little bit. We don't understand that.
Completely. He's just lost 3 positions in 1 corner. And I just don't think the BMW's got anything left. He's literally limping around the circuit.
He's been overtaken by Chopsa Puka at the back, and Michael Stephen is coming. Well, we haven't heard that name all day.
I know. Our defending champion, the man who is leading this championship at this stage, but just seems to be off the boil at the moment, and that's a very uncharacteristic move for Michael Stephen, just to throw one up the inside on the curbs. But he knows, because he saw the demise of Etienne van der Linde, he knows that he has to get as many points now to take advantage and stretch away.
Well, 100%, and the race win goes to the Sasol Race Day winner. It's Henny Groenewald in the Subaru.
We haven't said that for a very long time. It's been a great circuit for Subaru in the past as we go back and pick up on the Class Ts, and it's a little bit desperate out there.
Well, he's holding on. Devin is going to finish this race. I'm seeing all things flying off the... What is going on? Is that rubber?
Shredded tyre on the Magan, so once again, no luck for Devin Robertson, but luck in the hands and a very hard-fought day for Gavin Cognier to take the flag in the feature race.
Yeah, well done to the team. Offered up the car, but let's get confirmation. Henny Groenewald, Gennaro Bonafide, Michael Stephen, Johan Fourie, Chopsa Puka in 5th.
In the Class Ts, an incredible turnaround for his race day. Gavin Cognier wins the feature race ahead of Nathan. Formato, Robertson limps across the line in 4th ahead of Cooper.
Then Jacques Joubert, Michael van Rooyen didn't finish, or did Ross Lazarus.
found amazing pace out of this car, the Subaru Team Sassel, on your racing day. Double the points and a fantastic win.
Yeah, important race to reward Cecil on their race day. You know, all thanks to them for hosting a great day like this and giving us the support that they always do. Great support from our team, guys that worked all night last night. Vincent and Johan, thank you to the guys and the whole team. Guys with the engine, Phoenix Performance, Marco and Jared. So just thank you first of all to all those guys, and really chuffed to get the long race, and the reliability that's been brought into the car and the team of late is really astonishing. So thank you to all the guys.
Not surprised in the slightest. Gennaro Bonafide, second. Good points.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to end today. We had a bit of a tough day yesterday on tyres. We thought we were a bit down. We thought we didn't have the pace. And today we had a great tyre strategy. I think it really worked. And I'm happy with the second. You know, it was tough racing out there. I mean, the guys were on it all the time. Johan was pressurising me non-stop. So, you know, I'm happy to come away with a second place.
Gavin Cronje, your thoughts? An outstanding race to come from almost nowhere and just win it.
Yeah, look, I think to the team, first of all, well done. And to Lee, I mean, I got his car at the end there. It was, you know, for me it was the team put in the effort, and my teammates stepped up to the plate. Thanks, guys. And from the car point of view, it took me a bit of time to get used to his car. It's a different car. I had to learn to understand it and then start chipping away at it. Devin did a great job, but we know with the kind of power they're putting through that thing, and the tyres take strain. So we didn't know that we had the win in the bag, but it was getting touch and go towards the end. I started putting a bit of pressure the last few laps. And unfortunate for him, he had some issues, and it played into my favour.
Well, we like bubbling brooks, but bubbling volcanoes is the way it's heading as we go to round 8 and 2 rounds to go. It's just, we couldn't have written, as Gavin Cronje, a better story.
Absolutely, it's going to be right down to the wire, I'm sure. And they're trying hard, we're trying hard, and let's see how it goes to the end of the year. Look, I've got to take it race by race, and let's see how every race pans out for us, because you never know what can happen. You can break a tyre, you can have an accident, anything can happen. So race by race, concentrate as hard as we can. I'm sure Gavin is racing me and I'm racing him. Not too worried about anybody else on the racetrack, but yeah, it's been a hard year so far, and we want to try and finish it as well as we can.
Looking at the point standings then as we near the end of the season, Michael Stevens somehow squeaked out an extra 2 points ahead of Etienne van der Linde. Johan Fourie maintains third place, but he's on a charge.
Graham Nathan and Cronje came in at 154 points. They leave 7 points in it. This championship very much alive. Jack Jabber in third, but it's all about Nathan and Cronje.
No change up in the manufacturers' points. Audi still lead ahead of Volkswagen, BMW, Ford and Mini rounding out the top 5.
Confirmation of our race winners. In 1, Johan Fourie in the BMW. Race 2, Melville Priest. And then the winner of race 3, Henny Groenewald.
In the Class T's, the boys doing the business of Zwartkops. Race 1 went to Lee Thompson. Race 2 to Gary Formato. And race 3, a very important win for Cronje.
For more information on our racing series, log into www.spcc.co.za or tag us on Facebook and Twitter. To wrap up your coverage from the Sassel race day, in the Class A, Michael Steeman came out tops, extending his lead by 3 points. This means that Etienne is now 37 points behind with 2 rounds to go. In the Class T's, Duminy took another blow to the season with his massive crash. We're all delighted that he walked away unharmed. At the top, Nathan has stuck his nose ahead of the Mini by 7 points. But with 2 rounds to go, this battle is not over yet. The gauntlet is down, and the stage is set for our next round at Killarney in Cape Town on the 5th of October. Until next time, I'm Steve Busher with Matt Smith. This is World Class Racing, Bridgestone Production Cars.